One effective and common use case of Coda currently is for project and task management, and there are some features that have recently been released by Coda, specifically optimizing task management, that are particularly useful. And in this video, we're looking at 3 of them. The first one is custom holiday settings and how you can set holidays across your Coda docs and then respect those holidays whenever you set dates in tasks and when you set dependencies within tasks in your tables. Secondly, we are looking at how you can use Kanban boards within Coda to group by 2 dimensions. For example, having the status on the horizontal axis and grouping by person or by a project on the vertical axis of the Kanban board. And finally, we wrap everything up with the updates to native dependencies within tasks tables that you can use within Coda, and in particular how you can set dependencies natively while respecting the working days that is only available on team plans currently. And some time ago I made a video on the same topic, how to achieve dependencies and shifting dates while maintaining the spacing between different items within a Coda table without having to have the team plan. So you can watch that video for that use case in particular if you do not have team plan currently. The first feature that we're looking at is how you can set holidays in your Coda doc. This is the task dependencies doc that I created some time ago to show how you can create dependencies that respect dates when you ship them within Coda. And this uses automations here, and you can find the video linked here at the top or in the description of this video. And when it comes to holiday settings, I can go to document settings, navigate to region and the dates. The first tab within the setting is the region, that is the time zone as well as the first day of the week, which you can set right here. And the second setting is the working days. Here you can select the working days in a week from Monday to Sunday, and you can then set holidays. And an option that you can implement in this section is to create a new table for holidays. So when you click that button, this will create a new page in your doc called holidays. And for each holiday, there can be a name and a date, because each holiday is one day. So there is no holiday that actually lasts multiple days. Each holiday on the calendar will have a different name, and that's why you can only use one date. So for example, here we would enter Christmas, and the date would be the 25th of December. If you want, you can go to column option to set the date format. For example, you could do the ISO format to make sure that the date is clear for everyone in different date formatting cultures. Let's open the timeline view, and when we go to options, timeline display, in here you can see that on the timeline, when it comes to selecting the start date and the end date, we can also select whether we want to respect the working days. And when it comes to dependencies, we can go to settings, and here as well we can set the working days rule that we just set on the date setting. So that's the practical application of regional settings in your Coda doc. And that means that if a task spans across that time, it will be shifted accordingly to skip that holiday that is accounted for in your table within the Coda doc. The second feature that we are discussing in this video is using a board view of tasks, for example, in Coda, grouped within 2 dimensions. So in this case, we are going to do a /board. This is going to be a view of tasks, and we're going to call tasks board. Next up, we can navigate to group, and let's assume that here we want to see tasks by responsible person and by their start date, because we're not using a status column in our table, but rather a checkbox column for marking tasks as done. So we're just going to group things on those 2 dimensions. So at the top, we have the responsible person right here, and we can add a group that is the start date. That's going to be grouped on the left, so on the vertical axis right here. We can then also define the default collapsed option of these groupings. So if you want them automatically collapsed, expanded, or there is a custom option that I can set by collapsing one and then setting the default to be that view that I just have created right there. But for me, I like to keep things collapsed and then intentionally open them depending on what I want to see. In addition, it might be useful in such a view to add a filter for completed is unchecked. Maybe also add a filter bar where we can filter by specific attributes right there. And this can be useful when you work in a team in particular and there are many people, and you want to see what everyone is up to. That's when you can group by responsible person, for example, and then by due date on the vertical axis or vice versa, and see at a glance everyone's workload without having to click into different pages within Coda. In addition, you can also apply this grouping to tables. For example, here is a tasks board that I created. I turned it into a table view. Now if I go to options, I still have the group option, and in here I can add as many groupings as I like. For example, by responsible person on the top, just like that, and by start date on the left, like that. Then I can collapse them. I can also add additional groupings, but the only options are left or top. So if I add an additional group, for example, the completed checkbox to see the task completed or not completed yet for each person, then I can also define that and set it as grouped at the top or on the left. And to me, this becomes a bit too much. So it might have some diminishing returns. So I like maximum 2 groupings to have that swim lane effect for task management. When there is a timeline view of a Coda table, you can go to options, timeline display, and this is where we can set the start and the end date. So those are 2 separate columns in a Coda table. We can then respect the working days, which is what we saw in part 1 of this video. That is the working days of the week as well as the holidays. So we can turn that option on or off. And importantly, natively, you can manage dependencies if you are on a team plan. And you can set the dependency column that is blocked by, for example, in my tasks table, where there is blocked by and blocking. That is a self-referential relation column within the Coda table. Here you can set the working days rule as well, and you can automatically move items. If you are on a team plan, you can move them flexibly, meaning that the items will never overlap when you move an item that has a dependency, or you can set a strict moving rule, again, only if you are on a team plan, and that allows you to maintain the space, so the delta between the end date and the start date of the dependent tasks that you update in your timeline view. If you are not on the team plan and you can't use these options, then you can watch the video that I created where this doc is also offered for free, where there are the automations here that automatically shift dates of dependent items when they are updated. That's it for now. See you in the next one.